Go ahead. Thank you for, I joined this panel at the very last minute, and I want to share with you an urgent humanitarian appeal. But before I do that, I just would like to thank Ambassador Barnes for the great work he's doing for the cause of self-determination. We draw strength from your work, Ambassador Barnes, and also from the work that Professor Isaias is doing. And Mr. Edwardson, we draw strength from the work, from the resistance that you're mounting by being here, by sharing your story. Now, the Kashmiri people are not indigenous people, but we will, might as well be very soon, indigenous people be tagged with this tag. Why? Because Kashmiris are a people that are suffering for 70 years because of their geostrategic location and because of the fact that they have important water resources. The country that controls this territory, this disputed region of the world, the government of India is basically controlling a people who have shown without a doubt that they do not want to be part of that country and want and are seeking the right of self-determination. But the only reason that the largest democracy of the world is not willing to give them that right is because these indigenous people basically control a very important piece of land for the militaries and for the strategies and the great games, and number two, because they control very, very important rivers in that region. So I'll move on quickly to the urgent appeal. Over the last, it's a long story, of course, Kashmir, you can Google it up, and I have a small brief, it's just 2 pages long, you can pick it up on the way out. But right now, I just would like to share with you the fact that over the last 8 weeks, we are witnessing the targeted assassination of young Kashmiris who have chosen to peacefully make clear that they would like to see the implementation of United Nations Security Council resolutions on Kashmir that give the Kashmiris the right to choose the form of political entity or government or the future the way they see it. And for this, over the last 8 weeks, we have something strange going on. Over the past few years, when a young Kashmiri died, he normally died because he was out protesting against the Indian military and throwing stones, or maybe even at some points getting a little bit violent out of frustration and being shot at. So that was the normal way for a Kashmiri youth to die. But over the last 8 weeks, now the young Kashmiris are dying mysteriously. They get out of their house, they go to their lab, their job, or to the tuition center, or to the college, and never come back because they're suddenly, mysteriously assassinated. And so far we have at least 6 deaths that we can classify. There might be more actually, but we have 6 that that the Indian media itself has documented, and it is not often that the Indian media normally covers these kind of incidents. But because of of how ugly these killings are, these are very ugly killings. And I'll just give you one recent example. Gladly, the teenager did not die, but he lost his eyesight. He was targeted by the Indian occupation police in Kashmir. He was shot at using iron pellets, and at least 100 of them hit his face. I came here very quickly, but even if I had time, I wouldn't show you the picture. The face of that 16-year-old kid pierced with little iron pieces, losing his one eyesight. The case was so ugly that even the Indian media, that normally out of security considerations does not cover what happens in Kashmir, had to give a space. And I salute those Indian journalists who chose to cover that story in mainstream Indian media. But it's an ugly story. There's a business. These iron pellets have led to a very sick business developing in Indian regions next to Kashmir, because wherever and whenever the Indian police uses these pellets, the families of the victims have no way of treating the kids inside. They have to move them to mainland India. And so some business-minded people have opened up clinics catering particularly to the victims of the bullets, people who get shot at. So it's really, yeah, that's it. And it's an urgent appeal, and I would like you to see more information. And if you can join us in a campaign online, and you can pick up the 2-page brief on this. Thank you very much.